This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by Tiger Plumbing. Whether you need to replace a faucet, overhaul your sump pump, or desludge your drains, call Tiger Plumbing. In today's world, knowing who's at your door is important. Tiger Plumbing sends you your technician's photo, estimated time of arrival, and a little bit about him or her. Hey, Sam likes fishing and camping. Cool. Hi everybody, and welcome to the Bill and Callie Show. Today we are very honored to have my beautiful friend, Lori Utesch, who is here to talk about an event that's coming up on November the 2nd at Chicago Street Theater, and it's called We Too, Journeys of Resilience. And as the president of Chi Sigma Iota, with the local chapter here.
Local chapter, Psi Upsilon Chi. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are kind of in charge of doing a fundraiser.
Yes.
To raise money for scholarships and things like that.
Yes.
And this is what you have chosen. So tell everybody a little bit about what this evening is going to be all about.
Well, first I want to tell you what Chi Sigma Iota is. It's an international organization, honor society organization that focuses on the counseling field. So excellence in counseling and academics, and their whole mission is to focus on excellence in the counseling field, academics, advocacy, and just pushing professionalism in the field. And so our local chapter is Psi Upsilon Chi, which I am the president, and I have all of my officers, and we are responsible as a team for putting together at least one major fundraiser throughout my term, which is 1 year long. And so we kind of had that go big or go home attitude. And so we're doing We Too, Journeys of Resilience, and it is a fundraiser / advocacy event for survivors of sexual assault and abuse. And so doing it at Chicago Street Theater, the theater community is amazing and very supportive and very open, and it's a forum for sexual assault survivors to tell their stories in a safe and non-judgmental environment. And so we're going to do it in a way that helps them tell their stories. We're going to have music and lighting and effects, and make it a very creative and comfortable environment. And so we want them to feel like they're being supported throughout the entire event. And for a lot of them, this is the very first step on their journey toward healing. For me, I've been dealing with it. I'm a survivor myself. I've been dealing with this for 29 years, so I'm a little bit more open and vocal. A lot more open and vocal about my story.
I'm the same way. Yes. I too am also a survivor.
So we have that in common.
Yes.
And we've never hesitated to tell our stories.
Right.
And so this was something that I've known I've wanted to do for a long time, and when I became president of this chapter, this seemed like the perfect opportunity to make it happen, and to help others in their journey, to create the scholarship fund, and to just to create awareness and change the conversation surrounding sexual assault, because it's a very hush-hush conversation still, which in 2019 doesn't seem like that's appropriate. We need to be talking about it, and we need to be learning about and educating people about it, and so that's our plan for that night.
So tell us how people can get tickets, what time it's at, all those good things.
It is on November 2nd. It's a Saturday. It's at 7 p.m., but the doors will open at 6 p.m. We'll have food. We'll have finger foods and hors d'oeuvres beforehand, coffee, tea, water, hot chocolate, because we're assuming it's probably going to be pretty chilly that night. And you can get tickets. We have a Facebook fundraiser. We have a PayPal account. We have if you email us through nwiwe22019@gmail.com and just request tickets, you can get tickets that way.
And we'll put that all on our website as we're posting this. So.
And we have our Facebook page that you can go on and take a look at everything. We Too, Journeys of Resilience on Facebook. or you can even get a hold of, they can even get a hold of you, because you're
Absolutely.
Kelly and I are very close. She's my sister. So,
Yeah, we're sisters.
So if you want to get a hold of Bill or Callie and request tickets, the way we're kind of going about doing the tickets and the audience members, we've kind of started a trust circle. And so anybody I know and talk to, I know that I'm not going to talk to somebody that we can't trust,
Right.
to be in that audience and to be in that very specific group of people. And the same with you. I know you're not going to talk to anybody and invite anybody to this event that you know probably shouldn't be there.
Right.
And so we're relying on everybody to kind of do the same thing. And so, again, we have to provide a very supportive environment for everybody that's up on that stage that night.
And how much are tickets?
Tickets are $20 minimum donation. And so you can donate as much as you want, but $20 if that's what you want to donate, you can also get your tickets for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And where is Chicago Street Theater located?
Chicago Street Theater is at 154 West Chicago Avenue in Valparaiso. It's a phenomenal theater. My husband is on the board there, and he's been in community theater since
Day one.
we'll just say a very, very long time. And it's an incredibly supportive group of people.
It is.
And so they have all chipped in and used their talents and used their skills to help us create this entire event, and we could not be more grateful. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We're very excited about it.
yeah, Callie's a part of it. Callie
Yes.
will be up on
I will
stage
be
that
there.
night,
Proud of
and
her.
Bill will be there in the audience supporting, and
That's right.
and we're over the moon. We're so grateful for how big this has gotten, and we're very much looking forward
And
to it.
very supportive. The community out there. Jerry Davich did an article about it.
He did.
He did a great
and
job.
A lot
He
of people have
did.
been talking about it, and
Yeah,
it's been great.
Yeah, we went on Facebook first with his article, and the feedback from that was just astounding. I was very, I guess I was very overwhelmed. It was the first time that it's gone public like that, so it was a little bit intimidating and a little bit
Sure.
scary for me. And then it hit the online papers, and then it hit front page, which was a lot to take in too, but
Yeah.
everybody has been very, very supportive and encouraging.
Yes.
With the exception of maybe just a couple people, and there's those
Well,
in every
there's
group.
always-
So
yeah,
yeah,
there's
but
always
that
those.
doesn't, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't deter us at all.
Of course
Let
not.
me ask you this. I mean, this is really an emotional time for you, because is this the first time you publicly have come out and
Yes.
told about your story?
Yes. Yeah, other than telling my very, very close friends, and of course my husband knew, but my family didn't even know. So the event came first, and telling my brother came second.
Right.
Because our parents have passed away, so we're very supportive of each other and everything that we do, and I wanted him to be there, and I wanted him to know what was going on, and I knew that there was going to be stuff in the paper, there was going to be stuff on social media, and so of course I couldn't let him find out that way. So I did have to have that conversation with him, and let him know that this is what happened.
But the thing that is sad in a way, but it's a way that you move forward, is I know still today, when we drive by the place where it happened for Kelly, I could tell in her face. I could tell by her gestures, and stupid me, I keep forgetting to go another route.
Right.
But my
no, it
kids
doesn't.
live there, and
Yeah.
one of them lives like less than a block away from where it happened.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
where it was abducted, yes.
Yeah, where you were
Yeah.
abducted, and that was part of the trauma. And boy, it's just being someone who's emotionally attached to someone who's gone through that. It gives a huge impact to me, and lets me know, oh my gosh, this is something that impacts you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
Boy, it causes me, not that I wasn't, causes me to be more compassionate towards her when these issues come up, and understand her from her zany ways. Because
But
Kelly
that's
is zany.
Well, I don't know why you would say that.
No, but all kidding aside, it just gives me a new appreciation for what you've all gone through, and just even more so than I had now. And I always tell people, my mother always instilled upon me a heavy respect for women at a very, very early age. Like when I told one of my sisters that when I was 4 that I was going to punch her, that didn't end well.
No.
That did not end well. And my sisters got away with murder, but and I understood from a very, very early age that, and I even carry that into both sexes. It's just something you do. You have a respect for your fellow human being, and and so I just want to state that and I'm kind of looking forward to hear this, to hear your stories, but in a way, it's kind of sad to hear them.
I'm actually glad that you brought that up. From the beginning of this, I have this fear that kind of just sits in the back of my head about what people are imagining when they think about this event, and if that's something that is keeping them from attending. And I think they feel like it's going to be just a lot of people sharing a lot of very sad stories. And there's a part of that that's true. Yes. However, we are focusing very much on the resilience of, yes, we went through this horrible thing. Do we wish, like, anything that we could not, we could turn back time and make it different? Absolutely, but we can't. That's not a possibility. And so we're focusing on where we've come from. That we've come from this place of darkness and this place of internal suffering, and we have made something out of it. And
something good and positive.
Something good and positive. So many good things have come out of it.
Absolutely.
And not from, and we're not crediting the people who did this to us. We're crediting ourselves for being able to be the stronger person, being the resilient person, and being able to be like, you know what, you didn't break me. Now I know what I'm capable of. And so once you kind of know what you're capable of, we're kind of unstoppable. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing that anybody can say or do to us because we've already seen it, we've already done it, we've already been there. And so nobody's ever going to shut us up. That's not good for other people.
Well, I'll use Kelly as an example because she's the only one I've known. Maybe I've known someone, they just haven't told me. But you know her personality. She's far from reserved, far from... Yes. Everyone knows Kelly is
That's why I love
the
her.
mixture of Jim Carrey and Robin Williams put into a female body. Don't I know that day by day? And put coffee in her, it even accentuates
the coffee. The coffee intake is...
What I'm trying to say is it's what she's been. It's just the fact that she can be that person today and not be reserved.
Because that person doesn't win.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
That person doesn't win.
Yeah, so.
No, it's...
Or the people, in my case, it was two gentlemen, but they don't win.
No, they don't, because they made a choice, and it was a bad one for so many reasons. And so at the end of the day, we have choices too.
Yes.
And so that they gave us that right by doing what they did. They gave us that right. Okay, you did this, but now I have the right to do with as I please with that story, and that's what we're doing. And so a good portion of the event is going to be educating people on the PTSD that results from this type of event in our lives, and what we can do with all of that. PTSD is a really unfair disorder to have. It was, we don't obviously, no disorder is given to us by choice. We don't choose it, but it's also something that, when any other disorder, there's a list of things that we can expect from it. PTSD doesn't have that. We don't get that convenience where, okay, you can expect this trigger, this trigger, this trigger. We don't know.
You don't know what's going to trigger it.
We don't know what's going to trigger it. We don't know. I've had other things happen in my life that have resulted in PTSD symptoms, and the triggers that I experience, I would never in a million years consider, would be something. And so, and especially, it's worth mentioning that when my assault happened, I was 16 years old. That puts me as the oldest victim in the event at 16. And so everybody else was a lot younger. I think our youngest victim was 5 when it happened to her. And so, at 5 years old, that's a brain that's 20 years away from being fully developed. with PTSD. So it's kind of, and it's kind of putting everything in perspective for everybody and what we're dealing with from such a young age and dealing with a very adult situation. Yeah, that's part of what this event is about, the education and just making people aware.
Yeah, this is going to be a wondrous event. I mean,
it's going to be a great event.
It's part of the healing process, don't you feel?
It's part of the healing process for us, for anybody out in that audience who's gone through it and has never shared their story but has been holding it back, for anybody who's got family members or friends that have gone through this. It's a story of empowerment and resilience and positivity.
Strength and positivity, yes.
And probably the people that are quiet about it and have been mentally impacted and closed we view this as a way of, wow.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I can be vocal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can be vocal about it, and that's part of the healing process.
And it's part of what makes you a stronger individual. It's part of what makes you who you are, and
your character.
You can be so empowered by what's happened to you. It's a sad way to be empowered, but you can be empowered by that.
Absolutely. And 80% of American women have been sexually assaulted at some time in their life or another. 80%. That is a huge number to ignore. I'm choosing not to ignore that number.
Right.
It's too big to let it just slide by and be like, well, but
and there are also a couple of gentlemen, I believe,
absolutely,
that are telling their stories.
Absolutely. One of them is will be telling his own story himself. And the other one has chosen to have his story told anonymously by one of the Chicago Street Theater actors. And again, we're so grateful for Chicago Street Theater for they're telling somebody who's it doesn't lessen that survivor's courage. It doesn't lessen anything. He knows it needs to be told, and he said absolutely tell it. And so it's being told, and we're also grateful for that. And I think there's 3 or 4 of them that are having their stories told anonymously, and just the courage that it took for them to do that, it just blows me away. This is something. It's interesting for me because mine happened 29 years ago. So I got to a point in my life where no, it's not an everyday thought. I just go on about my life and I'm doing what I do, but now it's an everyday thought. Sure. As is everybody's story who's involved in this event. And while I'm thinking about my own story and your story and everybody else's story that's involved in this event, I'm thinking about all of the people out there who are still in that place of quiet, who are still in that place of hiding, who are still in that place of guilt and shame. And I'm not okay with that.
No.
I'm not okay with that.
One thing I'll say, and it's directed at Kelly, she's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Tremendous amount.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, and
Same.
I was a very strong person till an incident, and I kept on being told, no, you can't do it, and this lady told me, no, you can't, and it caused me to get my tiger claws back again and start ripping up things. So in a diplomatic way. So yes, but yes, I mean, and that is the inertia that was created out of what she went through. It not only it helped her become more resilient, but after meeting her, it caused me to get my own self back again, and I owe that to her.
Yeah,
definitely. So these things happen, but they have a kind of a mushrooming effect.
They do,
and it affects the people around them, and sometimes
we're like a fungus.
We just spread ourselves everywhere.
I've always been trying to come up with a word to describe.
Well, fungus.
Fungus is.
I am a fungi.
It is also not the word I would have chosen, but she's not wrong. She's not wrong. That's
walk
another.
Around with a squirt bottle like that guy in the big fat Greek wedding.
Oh my God! Yes, the Windex. Windex. Put some Windex on it. That's what,
that's everything.
It's you've made an amazing point. I could not have done this when this whole event was just kind of an idea rolling around in my head. I was terrified to talk about it to anybody. because first of all, who wants to talk about sexual assault? It appears nobody. So I was really afraid. And the first time I actually mentioned it out loud was on date night with my poor husband. He thought we were just going to go out and have a nice dinner, and I thought, let's make this a board meeting.
That's right.
And so, but there was never a doubt in his mind. He was supportive from the get-go. And so he was kind of step one, and then it was step two was getting the theater to agree with it. And of course, Chicago Street Theater is going to agree with it. They're out there to support anybody who is in need and who needs help and who needs a voice. They're theater, for heaven's sakes.
That's right.
And then that third step was getting my team to agree with it and my faculty advisors. And Dr. Mary Delo, I can't say enough about the woman, but she's a little bit intimidating when you're presenting an idea and she's just staring at you and just with that very thoughtful, very, look on her face, which is what she did for about a full 10-15 seconds before she said, yes, I like this idea. I like this idea. And we all started, that's when it started. We all started, turning over different ways to go about it and different ideas, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And of course, Callie supported me. Of course she did. There was never a hesitation with her. And of course, all of my close friends supported me.
Yes.
I don't know that I would have been able to keep fighting without you guys. And just, do I stop pushing? Do I bring it up again? There was never a question because it was a go from the very beginning. And so having that, I want other people to know they have that in us.
They have that support.
They have that support. And one of the survivors who is choosing to remain anonymous shared that with me. She said, ever since this started, I've gotten this whole new friend base and this whole new support base that I never knew existed. And so she's starting, it was almost immediately that she started feeling that support and realizing that all she had to do was talk.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, oh, yeah, of course, and there are, I think the group of people that are willing to say, I believe you, is much bigger and stronger than that group of people that are still putting out the stigmas.
Yeah.
And wondering what it is that we did wrong,
right,
or what we did to initiate that. And the answer to that will always be nothing.
Absolutely.
It will always be nothing. Nothing I did that night earned that. So I think we're much bigger and stronger than what people know.
And one of the things that has come out just recently in an article that was talking about an investigation into a rape case, that the victim or survivor felt very offended, and they look back into the records and find out it's the first question that gets asked of the victim is, were you drinking?
Yeah.
I am incensed by that. I am extremely angered by it, because what excuse does that give anyone?
Right.
It doesn't.
Were you drinking? What were you wearing?
Yeah, and that's the other thing, what you were wearing.
People take that into consideration.
And the whole thing, the whole implication that you brought it on yourself is just, it's law enforcement has to change that methodology. Right. Definitely, that is. Everybody
does.
They have to look at it with a wide lens and make sure that they're getting what they're supposed to be getting. But at no time, I think it's like asking a person who was stabbed, well, what'd you do to incite this?
Did you have a shirt on that said "stab me"?
Yeah.
That could be a clue. No, I didn't. And
I told him I was a Sox fan.
Yeah.
Case closed.
And that's not okay. I'm a Sox fan, and that will never. Those are all of the, and those will all of those stigma phrases will be introduced that night.
Yes.
Was I drinking? Yeah, but there were also people that have been raped and assaulted and abused that were not drinking. What were you wearing? That I can tell you right now that night I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but there's also people who have been raped wearing jeans, people who have been raped wearing burqas, people who have been raped wearing saris, people who have been raped wearing sweatshirts and hoodies. There's no justification. anything that you say does not give anybody permission
No.
to rape me. It just doesn't, that's not how it works. And so those stigma phrases and those questions being asked they stem from fear, lack of education, and just lack of knowledge about the whole topic.
And perhaps and particularly male law enforcement officials, perhaps there's some way of training them and how to deal, because and that's why a lot of police departments have employed. In fact, Griffith, I think, has hired a social worker to interact in domestic violence cases and rape cases, and she's female. So she has a little better understanding, goes out when these cases are reported, and has a better understanding how to interact with that person and what questions to ask.
Right.
Because, us big, dumb, stupid males are just going to ask the wrong question.
No. Well, but here's the thing though, males should be able to perform those same duties.
Right.
When it
They
comes
should.
to any kind of domestic assault, sexual assault. A male should be able to walk in that room and ask the same exact questions, and provide that same exact level of comfort.
Right.
That should be a thing.
Yeah, it should.
And so it's just hearing it put that way makes it feel like it falls on us.
Yeah. And
To
it doesn't.
provide the level of comfort for the entire sexual assault community. Well, that's a hell of a big community to provide.
Then-
that level of comfort for, and so we kind of need everybody involved.
Then it also, I can't talk about how wrong it is, because then it sets that person back on their heels, and then it's going to be okay. I'm not going to discuss other things that happen. So, I wonder if it skews what the victim tells the law enforcement official, because they're afraid to now. They come out with that statement. It's like, okay, I guess I'm not going to say
Absolutely.
I had shoes on, or
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But
Immediately we feel on the defensive.
Yes.
Because we're immediately made to feel
It's like we're the criminal.
we did something wrong. What did we do to get ourselves put in this situation, and to accuse this poor man or woman or whoever it was of doing something so horrible? Well,
Right. It's like you're
Yeah.
driving a car and a drunk driver hits you, or a distracted driver hits you.
mm-hmm.
Well, why were you there when that driver was driving there?
Why were you driving in that lane?
Why were you driving there?
Why were you making that turn? Why
Yeah.
were you? I was doing what I was doing.
Driving on the road, and
I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And when we, the statistics will be brought up that night as well. What people are doing when they're sexually assaulted, usually
And
nothing
almost-
worth noting.
No.
I happen to be at a party with my friends. There are people who are standing in their kitchen doing dishes. There are people who are walking through a parking lot. There are people who are leaving school. It happens everywhere.
Yes.
It doesn't make any difference.
No.
The fact is, it happens.
Yes.
And the people who should be questioned are not being questioned.
Correct. Well, with that.
We could
got a lot.
go on forever.
Yeah,
We could go on forever.
we covered a lot of territory.
We
today.
did.
Oh, man.
We definitely hope to see all of you at this event on November the 2nd at the Chicago Street Theater. We too, Journey of Resilience. Please come out and support. If you can't make it, but you feel the desire, please go onto the Facebook page or whatever. Make a donation. Help them out with this wonderful event.
Yes.
And we'd like to thank the Green Witch Juice Bar and Cafe for allowing us to come here to film this. And we especially want to thank Lori for coming out
Thank you.
and sharing this, and for her inertia in getting this event started and everything. We're very appreciative.
I am forever grateful for you allowing me to have this time and to talk about it and to yell about it a little bit.
And thank
It's
you
something
to-
that we're very passionate about, so thank you.
And I love you, sis.
I love you too.
And thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, Bill.
This is going to be an
It's gonna be
amazing
great.
event.
It is.
And hopefully we'll see you there, and have a great day.
Goodbye
Thank
for
you.
now.
Bye. This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by Tiger Plumbing. Whether you need to replace a faucet, overhaul your sump pump, or desludge your drains, call Tiger Plumbing. In today's world, knowing who's at your door is important. Tiger Plumbing sends you your technician's photo, estimated time of arrival, and a little bit about him or her. Hey, Sam likes fishing and camping. Cool.